AVID has really immersed itself in every aspect of my life. I had every intention of going to law school, and I worked at the DA's office in a sexually violent predator unit. It was very intense and heavy, and the district attorney, as I was working for, told me, you might not want to do this because you want to have a family and you have other interests. This might not work for you. And so they encouraged me to think outside of that field. And I started into teaching because I was looking to still work and help with people. And it all just fell into place at that point. I got the opportunity to step in as a long-term substitute at San Clemente High School in place of student teaching. And then the next fall, I had a job offer here. And then fast forward to my third year of teaching, the AVID counselor reached out to me and said, hey, I think you would be great for this program. What I loved most about the AVID approach was it was on the student. We got to say, hey, it's your name at the top of that transcript. It's your name on those college applications. It's your name on those scholarships. Every year when those college acceptances come in, generational change has just occurred. They are going to be the first person in their family to graduate high school or to go to college. AVID instills and connects with the soul of the student and really speaks to their goals and pushes them maybe beyond what they thought they were capable of. It opens a door. Personally, maybe a better parent, a better partner, so much more aware of the importance of listening and connecting. The range of possibilities for growth. It's never ending.
The first time AVID found me was in my second year of teaching through a Latino student named Edwin, who was in my advanced composition class. A few days into that class, he approached me as everyone was leaving and said, I think I need to level down. I'm not ready. I can't fail. I'm an AVID, and I want to go to college. His words hit me hard. How could he think he wasn't good enough? I'm not sure why, but I offered him a deal. Do you promise to turn in every assignment, go over essay revisions with me, and honestly give me your best effort? He said yes. Not like he was questioning his commitment, but very confident he could do each of the things I had asked him to do. I said, then I promise you won't earn less than a B in here, deal? He said yes. He took it and proceeded to exceed my expectations with his transparent and raw writing. When it came to a descriptive essay on a moment you took pride in yourself, I asked students to present it as a speech. He was visibly nervous, but unwilling to renege on the last assignment in our deal. He proceeded to captivate the entire class into silence with his detailed description of being brutally jumped into a gang. Sharing the impact of every punch so vividly, we had goosebumps. He went on to share how he began to discover a discrepancy between his life goals and the life he was living as a gang member. The moment he took pride in himself was when he chose to leave the gang, fleeing in the middle of the night with his family, never telling anyone that they were leaving or where they were going for fear of retaliation, and then starting a new life in our town and establishing a goal for his future in his AVID class. Up to that point, I had never heard of AVID because it wasn't a thing when I had been a student myself at San Clemente High School. But then I had never read a student essay that made my skin prickle in a good way. I sought out his AVID teacher on campus to share what an incredible student he was and learned that we not only had a class, but we had an entire program of students like Edwin. I started taking note of those AVID students in my English class, commenting on their grades every time I signed one of those grade profiles. I often look back at those first couple years teaching and cringe as I remember those perfectly straight desk rows and beautifully curated PowerPoints that took my students bell to bell. Thankfully for my students' sake, AVID found me again in my third year of teaching. The AVID teacher was leaving and they needed someone to take over the program, which consisted of 4 sections, the site coordinator role, and the site team of 1. I began shadowing the AVID coordinator and teacher, That first day left my eye twitching and my stress level on high. The room was buzzing and seemed chaotic. It was tutorial. I had only ever taught lecture-based classes. I had only ever been taught in lecture-based classrooms. The idea of stepping back and leaving it in the students' hands was unfathomable. But in going around and listening, the conversations were on topic. They were even academic. Every student was engaged, and I was forever changed. I attended Summer Institute back when it was 5 days at the Town and Country. Anybody? Yeah? Yeah. For AVID implementation, and took AVID on that fall. Not a section, the entire program, by myself. I was all AVID all day, a department of one. Learn as I go and trial by fire were the best I could plan for. I didn't know what I didn't know. I learned about collaborative structures, Cornell notes at the time, callbacks, tutorial, college applications, and worked hard to become a part of their already established AVID family. Those early years saw some of the most incredible moments of my career and taught me the power of relational capacity before it was a term in education or Summer Institute. I cried a lot on the floor with students when they came crashing through the door to tell me about their first college acceptance. I sat with them when they clicked the commit button and realized they were literally changing the trajectory of their life. I held them when parents passed away. I danced salsa, to much to their surprise, at our banquets. I taught them how to swing dance and even line dance so they could do something other than freak dance at prom. I stood at graduation and cheered wildly for them as they walked across the stage to receive their diploma, many of them the first in their family to do so, and some of them without anyone there to cheer for them. I applauded and raved about their accomplishments as we, slowly but together, rebranded the image of what others had of AVID students on our campus and in our community. I put the program in their hands and let them handle recruitment of incoming students, because who better to choose who would uphold their accomplishments than the people who set the bar? In 2015, to my surprise, AVID found me again. I was offered the opportunity to become an AVID staff developer. It was also when another teacher, Josh Kane, reached out and said, "I'd like to teach the program with you and expand." It was the physical expansion of a dream I had secretly held to one day make our site a national demonstration school. We expanded to 2 freshman sections, held on to our belief that building relationships is the core of our success, which meant looping our kids with their teacher, a 4-year commitment, and then started our long-term expansion program. My friends Lindsay Mariani, Betsy Willie, and Allison Schick heard our stories, and they wished they had the kind of connection with their students they told us. They started taking note of the exceptional AVID kids in their classes and what we were accomplishing with college acceptances and scholarships. They also noticed the AVID kids who were struggling, and they reached out to ask about them, their story, what might be going on at home, and then they started asking to take on the next section of AVID. During that time, AVID had also found my principal, or perhaps more importantly, his wife. She needed to teach next to section so as not to be surplused from her campus, and he asked me about AVID. She went to training, and she started our feeder middle school program. He began attending Summer Institute, learning about Wicker and the impact of AVID school-wide. Classrooms began shifting their structures. Desks got set up in groups instead of rows. We began talking about Wicker at all staff meetings. We were allocating money and intentional focus to AVID training. Our site team grew. Our Summer Institute team grew. And our campus culture and practices began to shift. Now, we have a waiting list of teachers who want to teach AVID. After graduating our first set of 2 AVID senior classes in 2019, we embarked on our demo application journey and first coaching visit. We identified areas to improve, strategies to tweak, and implemented a plan. During a recent demo networking session at AVID National Conference, we were asked what the demo process is like. Someone said, a whack-a-mole game. Our demo journey didn't just magically come to fruition with the graduation of that first class. We had staff turnovers, which dropped us below the percentages. We had 2 assistant principals tragically pass away. We had declining enrollment in AVID due to COVID. We had new demo metrics and processes, and a myriad of other challenges. Every time I thought we had it, something new popped up. It has quite literally been a decade of adjustments, learning, coaching, training, site visits, and every emotion in the book. I have to thank Tracy Grove, Bethany Glazebrook, and Terry Verhagen from AVID Center. Thank you, guys. You have consistently coached, listened, guided, and given us a multitude of opportunities. They've never said no. They've said not yet. But they've always believed in me, our students, our campus, and the power of AVID. In 2022, AVID touched the hearts of our staff when one of our seniors, Lexi Fallon, was selected as the AVID student speaker at San Diego 1. And we had 23 site members in the audience to listen to her. Her powerful story of overcoming mental, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, foster care, drugs, and self-doubt, to be a graduating senior with multiple college acceptances and in excess of $200,000 in scholarships, right? Hers was a story that left every person in this ballroom in tears and on their feet applauding. We shared a recording of her speech with our staff when they came back. Teachers approached me and said, I had her, and I had no idea. Lexi and our AVID students became our why in a very real way. Staff members began reaching out and asking about their AVID students. What's their story? How can I support? What should I know about them? Became actual real conversations. In that same time, AVID found our community, and they began to value and seek out our AVID students for volunteering events, coaching, mentoring, and fundraising. They were known as productive self-starters with great attitudes. Scholarships began asking for applications to be shared with AVID applicants. Community organizations like the Assistance League of Capistrano Valley asked us how they could partner with us and support our AVID students. Angels Baseball founded a scholarship program for AVID students in Orange County, promising to hold a $10,000 scholarship and trust for selected 8th grade AVID standouts. And that's not it. For the seniors, for selected AVID seniors, they provided a gap scholarship that guaranteed a full ride wherever that student wanted to go. In the last 13 years, we've grown from a campus with 4 sections of AVID, 1 teacher, and a site team of 1, to 10 sections, 6 teachers, and a site team of over 15. We now have a 10-year history of 100% of our AVID students earning 1 or more college acceptances. Last year, though, we hit a new record. 100% earned 3 or more college acceptances and in excess of $12 million in scholarships and financial aid. We have had an Angels Baseball Scholar or 3 for the last 4 years straight. We've had full rides, Dell Scholars, Equitable Scholars, Questbridge, and full scholarships to UCLA, Berkeley, USC, and many more success stories of our graduates. In 2024, a decade after we embarked on our journey, AVID Center Program Manager Christy Joyner Martinez came to our campus and presented us with an AVID National Demonstration School banner. AVID is our students. It's our staff. It's ingrained in our community and our culture. I'm still our St. Clemente High School coordinator, and I still teach all 4 levels of the elective. But I'm also now our Capistrano Unified AVID District Director. Thank you. Today, our goal is not just to be a district that has AVID, but to be an AVID district that gives all students the same opportunity and access to AVID, no matter what site they are at. I have seen firsthand the incredible impact AVID has had on not only students in a school, but a community as a whole. And for that, I hope AVID finds you this week. I hope it finds each of you, your teachers, your students, and your community, just as it did ours. Thank you.